So we're still talking about the new frontiers in surgery. Now we'll deal with the robotic surgery. We'll see what exactly the robotic surgery is. We'll deal with the definition first and then we'll see the types of the robotic surgery. After that, we'll see where the robotic surgery can be applied, and finally the advantages and disadvantages. So, what is robotic surgery? So, robotic surgery can be summarized by the figure below. The figure in front, actually, this is a computer console on which the surgeon sits and performs the surgery. This is a camera view here, right here. These are the robotic arms which actually perform all the functions. This is the patient. And this is the nurse that initially adjusts all these robotic arms and might adjust the robotic arms during the surgery. Now, the concept is of a master and a slave. Surgeon is the master, the robot is the slave, and the patient is there on the table. The surgeon performs the surgery on a computerized screen right in front of the surgeon. Now, this performance is free of the human error. For example, if a surgeon is having a hand tremor, so this hand tremor is compensated by this surgical cart with the surgical robotic hands. So there's no hand tremor in the robot. Now, for cardiothoracic surgery operations, you need not to stop the heart or put it on bypass. This robotic surgery can compensate for the beating heart as well. Now, this also aids and facilitates the surgeon in the sense that the surgeon is actually sitting. Sitting is a relatively comfortable position. The surgeon is not standing, so the surgeon is not tiring himself a lot. Now, there are not a lot of surgeons when a robotic surgery is being performed. Usually a single surgeon is performing this surgery. Now, it also reduces the amount of surgeons or the doctors required to perform a surgery. A lot less help is required in the OR, so it cuts down on the doctor and the medical expenses as well. The instrument and the device itself is very expensive, so there's that. Now, again, hand-eye coordination is very important. The better the hand-eye coordination, the better the surgeon will perform. This requires meticulous training and on the part of the surgeon, and it also relies on newer techniques. So the surgeon needs to be updated with the newer techniques, and the surgeon needs to practice again and again to perfect his technique so that he can perform the technique on the patient himself. So there are two types of robotic surgery. First, we have the teleoperated systems. The teleoperated systems are the operation is done via robot or its robotic instruments through a televisualized computerized platform, which is either via on-site connections or remotely controlled through internet or other digital channels. So what is happening? There's a console in teleoperated systems. The robot is performing the surgery, and this surgery, this robotic surgery, is being controlled by a teleoperated system, by a computerized system. Now, this control console might lie within the operating table, within the operating room, or it may lie somewhere else entirely, and you may be remotely controlling it via internet or some other digital channels. Now, the second type is the image-guided systems. In the image-guided systems, the surgical robot completes a pre-programmed surgical task. This pre-programmed surgical task is guided by the pre-operative imaging as well as the real-time anatomical constraints and cues through which the application is built, and the application itself has the navigation systems with which it can navigate around the anatomical landmarks. So in an image guided system, what happens? There's a pre-programmed program for the robot to follow. This pre-programmed program has been set according to the pre-operative images of that patient. Now, this programmed is also guided by the anatomical landmarks it comes across during the surgical operation. So these are the two types of the robotic surgery: the teleoperated system and the image guided system. In the teleoperated system, the surgeon does not need to be necessarily there. Hence, some of the people, they argue over it that the teleoperated system are less safe, because if this surgery needs to be converted into a traditional surgery, the surgeon might not be there. But it can always be compensated by a surgeon on hand or on call, or a surgeon just there, so that if the procedure procedure needs to be converted into an open procedure, that surgeon can do that. So these were the two types of robotic surgeries. Now let's see the application of robotic surgeries. So the robotic surgeries can be applied in cardiac surgery. We've talked about it. They actually eliminate the need of bypass or stopping the heart. So they can compensate for cardiac beating and hence are used in cardiac surgeries. They can be used in gastrointestinal surgeries, gynecology, neurosurgeries, orthopedic surgeries, the pediatric surgeries, the radiosurgeries, and urology. That is, all the fields of surgical practice can benefit from the applications of robotic surgery. Now moving to the advantages and disadvantages of robotic surgery. So it is actually a minimal access surgery, and similar to the minimal access surgery, it has a lot of advantages. Post-surgical advantages include there's less scarring, there's faster recovery time. Again, there's less scarring because it's a tidy, clean, well-cut wound which heals by primary intention. There's faster recovery time because there's small wound, the body is prepared for the wound, and the body can heal itself pretty easily. There are tiny incisions which heal themselves easily. There's 0% transfusion rate. Then there's short catheter time, which is 5 days versus 14 days in traditional surgery. There's immediate urinary control in these minimal access surgeries. Then there's shorter return to the normal activities, that is within 1 to 2 weeks, even before, because there's minimal access, there's minimal disruption of the normal bodily functions, and there's equal cancer cure rate. So initially it was thought that there was seeding within the incisions of this minimal access surgery. Then later it was proved it was due to the lack of technique. It was poor technique on the doctor's part that played a role in seeding of that of the incision site of minimal access surgery. It was not due to the minimal access surgery itself. So an improvement on the doctor's part led to less seeding of the site of the minimal access surgery. So it can cure cancer as much as a traditional surgery can. It has less post-operative pain as well because of smaller incisions which heal themselves easily. So there's that. Now, in surgery, advantages include surgeon has an enhanced view because the camera is right there, the light is right there, so you have a clear view of the anatomy. It is easy to attach the nerve endings because they are small, tiny, and they you can easily attach them because you can clearly visualize them. Now, surgeons, they tire less easily because they're usually in a sitting position in robotic surgeries or even in minimal access surgery. Initially, it was difficult because of the abnormal positions of the surgeon's head and the surgeon's arms, but now it has become a lot easier. Now, there are fewer doctors required in the operating rooms. In robotic surgery, it is usually one. And with the minimal access surgeries, there are fewer still. In turn, it is cheaper for hospitals. There's smaller risk of infection because of smaller incision site, and there's less anesthesia required because usually it is done earlier. There's less loss of blood if done properly. So these are some of the advantages, both the post-surgical and during the surgery. Now let's talk about the disadvantages. The disadvantages are the question of safety. These are relatively new methods, and the safety of these methods is slightly questionable. However, during the past decade, we have come across a lot of differences. We have made progress leaps and bounds, and now we know that these are relatively safe. These are safe procedures. These can be done easily, and the reluctance has been lost. Now, the cost is also one of the disadvantages. It initially the apparatus, it costs a lot. It is difficult to manage. It requires a specialized team. You need to upgrade the softwares and whatnot. So it is the cost of this. It brings a bigger question mark on the hospitals themselves, because some of the hospitals, it is very difficult for them to balance the cost in accordance with the advantages. So this is how you compare the minimal access surgery. If it is there are a lot of advantages. On the other hand, the cost effectiveness of the surgery is there, but in order to procure that instrument, it is usually very costly. So this was all about robotic surgery. I hope you liked and enjoyed it. For further such sections, keep watching Scadia.com.